It's the new thing that's sweeping the land when you don't know which way to go. The answer is Jesus and Elevation Radio.
God bless you. This is Elevation Radio 1, and I'm your host, Pastor Steve, the Music Man Turner, and we thank you for taking the journey with us. This is the program that spotlights positive people doing positive work while serving a positive God whose name is Jesus, and there's nothing wrong with that. Our subject matter today is prisoners of urban warfare. Prisoners of urban warfare who will free Duryea Green, Baltimore's POW. Yeah, we have our own POW. Who will free him? Duryea Green. Now, the extremely disturbing case of Mr. Duryea Green is a testament to a belagured and systematically corrupt justice system here in Baltimore. Just in his third year of marriage, he was alleged to have been wrongfully arrested by a Baltimore City Police Sergeant back in 2004. He has been separated from his loving wife for 18 years. This police sergeant was recently in the news, again, having been arrested for kidnapping and extortion along with three other homicide detectives. And according to Duryea Green's wife, this devious and demonic practice of kidnapping and false imprisonment is not by chance, but a premeditated practice on the poor in our urban sections of Baltimore. Having reached out to city officials and even civil rights agencies headquartered here, they found no one who listened. Well, we listen, and you should too. And that's very important. And before we get started, let's go to the line here for a second. All right, welcome to Elevation Radio 1. How can we help you?
This is Van Green. How are you, Pastor?
All right, hold on a second. Glad to have you. Let me introduce my co-host for today. That is Antoine Travers, former BCPD police officer extraordinaire and security CEO of his own security company. How are you doing today, sir?
I am fine today.
Always, we used to roll the streets together. So glad to have you back, sir. Glad to have you back. Amen.
All right.
All righty. Let's go to our fantastic verse to rehearse with my lovely wife, First Lady, the Queen. That's what we call her. And that's First Lady Leora Turner, reading from 1 Kings chapter 21, verse 1 through 3. Read it real quick for me, baby.
And it came to pass after these things that Naboth. Wait a minute. I got lost here. Wait a minute. Okay. And it came to pass after these things that Naboth the Jezreelite had a vineyard which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria. And Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, Give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house. And I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it, or if it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it and money. Sorry, goes the horse. And the last one, and Naboth said to Ahab, The Lord forbid it me, that I shall give the inheritance of my father unto thee.
Got it. All right. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Sergeant James Lloyd has stolen the inheritance of a family of Duryea Green and Van Green. And I brought all the way from, where do you reside now, Antoine?
In Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, security professional, police professional from Atlanta, a friend of mine, Mr. Green, just to make sure we get this right today. And he's agreed to sit in with us and listen to this fantastic true story. So the question really is, who is Van Green?
I am the wife of Duryea Green of 21 years.
Okay. All right. And so tell me, you've been married for 3 years, and what significantly happened in 2004? I believe that's when it was.
So 2004, it was a O'Donnell Heights basketball shooting involving 2 teenagers. My husband was accused of the alleged shooter of shooting 2 teenagers, one in the ankle and one in the knee. Now they are grown men now. They are 30 and 28, if I'm not mistaken. He told me he was 29 and 31.
Okay. Did I just say what the shooting was about?
So they said it was the 2 teenagers were playing basketball, and a altercation escalated that had nothing to do with the basketball shooting. Of course, it's not very great lighting in O'Donnell Heights. Also, they were a couple arguments that happened that night prior to they were out there playing basketball on the basketball court. So a shooting, a gunman started shooting, and the 2 teenagers were hit in the ankle and in the knee at the time. My husband was not arrested, no question, that day prior to that week of James Lloyd at the time was a police officer. I guess he had to do his investigation or whatever necessary steps that they needed to take at that time. My husband later the second week they came to my house and asked for a person named Daryl. I said, you have the wrong address. They didn't come back again until the week after that, and they asked for another alien's name, a person that I didn't know. So now I'm getting worried because I don't know who they're looking for or what was going on at that time, because the address they came to, I was living there for 10 years. So I know it wasn't nobody that could have lived there previous before I lived there, me living there for 10 years. They came back again and asked for my husband's. His name is Duryea Green. They came back and asked for Dark Green, some other names, and they were not successfully with talking to my husband because they kept coming to our home talking to me. My husband was always working to support and take care of his children and myself, our family. James Lloyd came back again. We were ready to go out. He questioned us in the living room, and he was asking him, where was he at? Did he know anybody out there? The normal questions that they ask you when they're doing an investigation of a murder, shooting, or domestic violence in that nature. After that, he let us go. It was nothing, no more said. He came back the next month, and he came. I was home. I was off that morning. He came back. He forced his way into my house. He pushed me down on the couch. My children was upstairs. He's acting with their firearms out. Him and 3 other officers. They came in. At this time when he came, Detective James Lloyd came to my home. He came in street clothes, and he didn't say he was an officer at the time. He said he was a detective. So when he came in, I'm asking him, what's going on? My 2 sons at the time, why you got your guns out? Because they were kids then. That's my mom, and I'm trying to keep them calm from anything escalating. So at the time of that, he's not telling us what's going on. He's saying, grab your shoes, get the kids. He put us in the car and took us to the back of Southeastern District and put us in this cage. And we sat there almost, I want to say an hour to 2 hours. And I'm getting frustrated. I'm, making noise. I'm banging on their gate. I'm trying to tell, what's going on, let us out of here. My kids got to go to school. So at that time, he taking my kids to school and had me in handcuffs. Now I'm getting scared because I'm in the car with 3 men, one in the back seat with me. James was driving, and his partner was in the passenger side. I've never been to my husband's new job because he was doing construction. I've never been to his new job because they always had him on different sites. So now at this point, you didn't did investigation on my husband, but again, you still don't know his real name. So on the warrant, it has dark green, not Duryea Green. Up until he came into my home and went upstairs, I'm still downstairs. He's in our bedroom and gotten his ID, which had his real name on there. He dropped me all the way out Lansdale, Maryland.
Can you hold a second? Wait a minute. This is. I'm ringing the bell because I'm just amazed by what I'm hearing. What do you think about this former police officer and security director Antoine Travers? What you've heard so far?
Well, I mean, it sounds. Basically, it sounds like they had targeted the guy to be the suspect. That's what it sounds like to me. So I'm not sure what the evidence was or what it looked like or what somebody was had named him as a suspect in that particular situation or not, or what the grounds for the arrest or even the investigation to be pointed in that direction, because you don't really know what evidence they had at that particular point in time. But, it just seemed kind of strange that they keep coming back asking for somebody and they have the wrong name. But it's possible, but they keep coming back to the same address. So somebody's giving them some information. And so the issue is really determining where that initial information came from, and who actually gave it to them. So, and what their motive for giving that information is the only way I would look at that.
Okay, you're being real nice today. Let me be bad today. Let me say what I hear. I hear Gestapo militaristic tactics, forced entry, burglary, actually, to come into your home without a warrant, to come in and force their way into your home at gunpoint. I mean, who does that? And then to go up into your upstairs to try to find, rummaging through stuff they're going to be stealing and breaking in, doing all kinds of stuff, planting drugs, all that nonsense. And then to kidnap you, that's what it boils down to right here, kidnap you and force you and your children into their cars to go into and then put you into the station without any charges. This is amazing. So amazing. Let me go right to the line here. We've got a caller here. Welcome to Elevation Radio 1, number 0905. You're live on radio, Elevation Radio 1. 443, last 4 digits, 0905. Okay, let's go to the next call. All right, you're live on Elevation Radio 1. How can we help you?
Yeah, how you doing, sir? This is Ronald Williams, Duryea Green's brother.
Oh, okay. How you doing, sir?
Good. You're doing pretty good. I was listening to his white van on the line here, and
yes, indeed.
Just as she said it, he said the same thing to me, and I find it funny that the officer is now basically breaking the laws and trouble himself. You would think that would reflect on anything he's done prior to that. I mean, how can it take his word on anything? If he's actually in trouble himself.
What's your name, sir?
Ronald Williams. I'm Duryea Green. Ronald
Williams, you are starting trouble, sir, because what happens in the gun trace task force case, because they were fraudulently planting guns and doing all kinds of stuff to people, the state's attorney, who was awake at the time, eventually, got rid of all the cases and all that's usually what happens. But Somehow, when Ms. Van Green calls the State's Attorney's Office, Marilyn Mosby, nothing happens.